Hi, we're in the room this week.
Hey.
Carrie's here. I don't like cheat forward even. Carrie's here. We're in the room, and thank you for coming on the show. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Chrissy's here also,
Yay.
Yeah, hi.
and we're gonna start our interview. Are you ready to get
Yeah.
officially folkwise
I'm
interviewed?
I will be all the folk wiser.
Oh, hey. Well, we're in for a lot of that, I guess. But Chrissy, before I get started interviewing the wonderful Dr. Carrie Danielson of Florida State University, uh, would you mind introducing a very special group of people who helped make this possible?
Yeah, so as you know, on the stream, we have a team behind us that's helping us to come up with questions and better understand the folks who come on the show. So if you really like a question that comes across the airwaves this evening, please thank the sleuths, because the sleuths have done all the work behind the scenes to figure out what amazing questions we should ask you and throw some curveballs your way. So
Oh boy.
it should be very fun. And yeah.
Thank you, Chrissy. Wonderful introduction. I almost said to the point, but I feel like that's shade at another co-host. But that thanking the sleuths, that goes to you, singular, and you, plural. You got a
Yes.
sleuth. Subscribers have a sleuths emote if you hear a question you like. So,
Yes,
you
please.
want to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Uh, all right. Why? That's our first question. No.
Why not?
Why not? Good.
Why not?
All right. Next question. How does no? Okay. What can children's music making contribute to the study of folklore and ethnomusicology?
Ooh, deep, big, good. So children's musical cultures. For a long time, we always sort of thought of like music culture as like children and this like tabula rasa that can be like inscribed upon, right? But children like have their own agency. They have their own ways of making, experiencing, thinking about music. Right? They're active participants, creators of arts, culture, right? And so we can learn a lot from them and we can learn a lot about their perspectives, especially if we're thinking about programs, things that actually like are meant for them, to understand how they think about these things, how they think about the world, how they transmit culture beyond just enculturation, but into other spheres as well, right? So there's actually a lot we can from young people, from children and young people, if we spend some time listening to them.
You spoke about programs.
Programs, yeah.
I think I want to circle back to that, but I think it just like goes into the second question so well. We can kind of answer like both at once,
Sure.
right? So, how does being an ethnographer enhance your work facilitating children's music programming? And you can get in a, you know where this is going. You can get into specifics, but
Yeah,
children's
yeah.
music programming, you as an ethnographer, how do those go together?
Sure, yeah. So I, like I mentioned earlier, think of myself as an applied ethnomusicologist, putting logical knowledge to practical use, I suppose. And often we have sort of initiatives. So one thing I work with, and I'll pop into this now, is our young refugee children, particularly from Syria and Afghanistan and Sweden, working in these music and art schools called kulturskola or culture school, that are like these publicly funded, municipally funded music and arts programs in Sweden. And so I was working with one school in Simrishamn, Sweden, in southern Sweden, where they were doing like these sort of summer culture school programs, targeted toward creating these sort of hospitable, good environments for newly arrived children and youth, especially during the summer months when a lot of that structure is gone. They want to create spaces for these young people to meet other area children and young people to facilitate connections, things like that, right? And so one thing, when I was doing ethnography, with some of these programs, with teachers, with the young people, was to actually think about, okay, like if we are creating these sorts of programs that might have certain curriculum involved, might have sort of certain ways of teaching folk music and dance, what do the young people actually think of this? Like, because at the end of the day, that's really important. And so I'm often sort of a facilitator, teacher-s person or helper in these spaces, but then that also sort of creates those moments where you can then talk to them and say, hey, like, what are you interested in? Or why is this working? Why isn't this working? Hey, what kind of music do you actually listen to? What is that like here versus what happens at home? Hey, let's like do some songwriting. Oh, hey, like we wrote this song together. And wait, now this opens up all these other stories and things that this brought up that we can chat more about. So thinking about just interview processes and like the reciprocity that happen in ethnography is really important, especially when we're thinking about like really specific programs and
you said like folk music and dance. What is like the music course load? I can't say curriculum. I can never say it right first try. What sort of curriculum are they getting there? And then what have you as an ethnographer found clicks with them?
Yeah, so like it's based typically these music and art schools. It's different than the U.S. in that it's based on local music and culture. So there's not like a set national curriculum like you would see here. It's more arts program. Mm-hmm. And so part of it is based on, you know, the teachers they hire and their expertise can't do. And so Hannah was one of the dance teachers who speaks Arabic, had been to Syria and Damascus before, teaching a lot of sort of folk dances from the Levant region, a lot of sort of the traditional belly dance, but also a lot of dabka pop up in a lot of these spaces of celebration of areas and culture, and was able to sort of teach that and bring this into the programs. And that worked really well because a lot of the students were like, hey, I recognize this. Hey, I know Lena Shemaima, and hey, I know like this singer and can sort of relate to that. But also they could relate to Hannah as a teacher who spoke their language, who knew a little bit about like the areas that they were coming from. Most of the teachers did not have that background, and so Anna, the music teacher, would incorporate songwriting practices where like they would just pick a sort of popular song and then set lyrics to it, and some of them were able to like do things on their own terms that way, in this kind of self-definition way. She also had a guitar group that and also a girls-only guitar group, so that some girls could sort of participate in those spaces too. Something that didn't work necessarily though were when assumptions about young people's background placed onto that curriculum. So for a while, some of the guitar teachers tried to incorporate like different scales, different sort of Arab-based musics and those sort of modalities and things. And the students were kind of like, hey, like, you know, that's cool, but like I actually just like, you know, want to learn how to play rock music. I want to like try to do these things, right? Or hey, like one of the teachers tried to bring in like a song in Arabic, and the student was like, hey, like that's cool, but like, yeah, my dad plays oud at home, but like I'd rather like sing these other things here. Yeah. And so it's sort of like how do you think of markedness and assumption in those spaces and navigate between?
Thank you for teaching me the modality of music from the former Ottoman Empire. I, however, in Swedish, and I am trying to play Yngwie Malmsteen. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's good. That's really interesting. And how long were you in southern Sweden doing this research?
Yeah. So I was in there for a couple summers. 2017 was my first sort of summer pilot research. And then I was there for a couple months the following summer, 18, with the summer school of culture. And then 2019 to 2020, I was there on a grant for the whole year, kind of, but 2020 was an interesting time for field work, especially you know, in that March, April, May period.
Did you have that Google Doc that went around doing field work in a pandemic?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think I still have that somewhere. Oh man, I definitely took some methods from that. Yeah, I
Oh,
really did. It's a cool historical document now.
yeah, I'll have to find that.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
send it to you.
I was sort of fortunate in that a lot of my ethnography was fairly done by that point. There were a couple of interviews that had to be
Hmm.
canceled or some things moved online, but yeah, I felt really bad for colleagues and students who didn't have the
Yeah.
data yet and had to sort of adapt.
Oh. Uh, Chrissy, you have
I
a uh,
Well, first, I just wanted to ask because I'm fascinated
do it.
by the fact that you ended up in Sweden. What drew you to go to Sweden for
Yeah.
this research? Like,
Mm.
why there instead of here?
Yeah, so I came into my master's degree in ethnomusicology. Interested in children's musical cultures. I did a master's thesis based on some community centers here, working with young people and their sort of musical expression. Um, and when I was thinking of dissertation topics, I was really interested in these idea of children's rights, which Sweden was the first country to implement the Convention of the Rights of the Child into law. And so some of like the values that I held, they were kind of implementing these in these art schools already. But probably on a more personal note, the reason I knew about that was because I grew up in a pretty small town in Minnesota, in the upper Midwest, Mora, Minnesota, population like 3,500 people. And it was this like little Swedish American hometown that had like a giant Dala Horse. We host like the Basalopic cross country ski race. Like it's all the stereotypes you can imagine, and it was lovely. It was great growing up there. And my family also had ties and roots in Sweden. My great grandfather immigrated to the United States, to northern Minnesota, along with his brother. And so, like, I had some family ties and interests, and kind of grew up around the Swedes to some degree. And so, I think a lot of folks in like the Scandinavians, not all of us, probably have had some connection, kind of in the heritage way. And so there was also sort of that interest too that I think had me looking there in the first place. More importantly, though, I was looking at children's music cultures, but then like 2015, 2016, the refugee influx started happening. Like these
Mhm.
culture schools, which like I was like, oh, cool, like children's rights, became this space that was like filling this need of like bringing young refugees into sort of a space where they felt that they could participate in society. And so it kind of took that other direction of like, oh, hey, like suddenly they're responding this moment, and we're gonna go see how that's working. So
It's like a cool triple whammy of the like specific interest you already had,
mm-hmm.
the historical moment, and how did you phrase it? Interest in a heritage way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can unpack that later.
we might. Uh,
Well, I love hearing you talk about that bigger idea of, what was happening in the world at that time and what you could do. And I think this feeds into the question that I want to ask you, which is thinking about an ethic of care. So, how do you define ethic of care and have you applied it in your work?
Oh yeah. So right now I'm sort of thinking about this a lot in terms of a hopefully forthcoming book project, based on some dissertation work. What?
yeah.
But so as you know, Chrissy, we have the big Ethics of Care initiative at UW Madison that Chris Garlow runs. I was
Mhm.
working with her a lot. And so we were thinking a lot about like harkening back to folks like Joan Tronto, right? Like how do we sort of think about the interconnected needs? How do we think of like these moral questions of power, of care, in like ways that like we want to live in the world together, right? And so how do we sort of think about attentiveness and responsiveness, especially when we sort of think of political moments and who's on the borders and the margins? How do we think of not just like caring for people in the work we do, but like caring with them? and working with them to sort of facilitate spaces of care and belonging when sometimes those spaces for care are not given by governmental sort of policies or at odds with them, right? So thinking about care not just as sort of like this fluffy thing, like, oh yes, we care about these things, that's nice, but as something that's like really inherent in sort of the morality of how we navigate our worlds around us and live in it as well as possible. Go back to Toronto.
Yeah, I love that explanation. Sorry, I have a weird noise in the background here if you could hear it. But um I love that explanation because it's about I'm sorry, my doorbell is ringing. That's what that is.
Wow,
Oh
Coming
people,
no!
across.
real people.
Yeah, it's probably a delivery, but hopefully they'll just leave it and walk away. Anyway, I really love that definition because it's about the way we inhabit the world and it's thinking of that bigger picture. I think when we talk about it in academia about an ethic of care, we're not always thinking about the application of like the world around us and the what that means about like I like thinking of it as an ethic because it's about how you face the world and the way that you behave within the world with care in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I really loved that definition because it was so real and accessible. Um, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very cool like applied folklore definition of this thing that seems very theoretical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be theoretical, but
It could be.
also
Not the
it's-
way you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try not to.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chrissy, do you want to ask the next one while you're at it?
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard a little bit about some of the work you did here at UW-Madison, and one of the things that we definitely found interesting when we were looking into all the work you've done is thinking about the raging grannies.
Ah,
So we
yes!
wondered how intergenerational connections are important to the performance and protest of the raging grannies in Madison,
Oh,
Wisconsin, and if you want to tell us a little bit about who they are too,
My
for
Yeah.
folks
gosh,
who don't
these
know.
are the most incredible women. I want to be them when I grow up. If you don't know who the Raging Grannies are, we do have like a digital component of an exhibit on our Center for Design and Material Cultures at UW-Madison on it's called It's All the Rage, like aging activism. I came up with that title. Can you imagine?
Wow.
But they are these fantastic group of older women who are out singing at like the farmers market in Madison every other week. In addition to like currently like outside of Ron Johnson's office and outside of protests like everywhere right now, singing like these sort of parody songs. Like my favorite is "If My Uterus Were a Gun, Then Guys Would Leave It Alone." I think that's everyone's favorite.
Can you sing us a bar?
If my uterus were a gun, then guys would leave it alone. Da, 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 da. We could look up the lyrics. We have all the lyrics on this. They are fantastic. But they are just these feisty women who like have been librarians, they've been teachers, they've been like all these things in their lives, many of them having grown up sort of in protest spaces, who are really just interested in building better futures for you know their children, grandchildren, people around them. And so this has been a collaborative project with Ethics of Care Initiative, Chris Garlow, Ryan Risk, Amber Paulson, that whole group of folks there, where we've been sort of putting together this archive because they came to us wanting to sort of like, I think you may be a book, but at least wanting to sort of preserve the things they've done and also create, you know, resources for younger people who are interested in activism and advocacy. Also, like they wear aprons and hats and buttons and pins, and it's really, really wonderful. They really lead into like the grandmother trope and figure, which has worked really well for them in terms of thinking about protests. Chris has talked about way back in the Act 10 protests in 2011, was that, in Madison. Some of the grannies were arrested, like, very publicly. And what happens when you see sort of age on display, when you see older women, like, in newspapers, getting arrested for something, there's some sort of, like, moral shift that happens. right? And also, like, when they're talking to the police officers arresting them, some of them in their interviews have been like, yeah, like, I said, oh, can you, like, not arrest me behind my back because, like, I have a bad shoulder? And they're like, I don't know, we got it. Okay, we'll arrest you in front. Oh, can you help me down the stairs? Like, I'm kind of frail. Oh, we're not supposed to do that. Well, would you do that if it was your grandmother? Oh, I guess we could do that, right? And so they really play into that. Well, like, just being, like, these firecrackers of women who are just trying to, like, maybe not always coalesce around the same issue, but trying to fight for a future that they believe in.
Yeah. Is there how does membership work
For the Raging Grannies?
Yeah.
I think they're pretty open. So there are different Raging Grannies chapters throughout the U.S. This started actually in Canada as part of, like, these environmental movements, and some of the chapters are a lot stricter than others and require auditions, have, like, interviews about political viewpoints. The Raging Grannies in Madison are very, like, Midwestern Wisconsin. Everyone's sort of welcome in this community music space. I don't know that they have a specific age cutoff. It's just sort of a vibes thing, to use what my students say.
You have a raging great aunt in there?
I think there are some Raging Great Aunts.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good.
And there's also some, like, generations where, like, there's a great granny.
Ooh.
And then, like, her daughter is in it, and they're doing it together.
Oh my, how old is the raging great granny?
Oh, I don't know how. I think she's in her 90s.
Okay,
I can't remember.
Yeah, she would have to be. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're, they call themselves a disorganization, which now they're, like, kind of coming back from, because they're like, wait, no, we don't want people to think we're disorganized. But there's this idea that there's not quite, like, a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Though they do have, like, one of the conductors and things like that. But yeah, they're pretty fantastic. I love them. I want to be them.
Thank you, Chrissy, for linking It's All the Rage in
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've linked several things. I also linked the archive if anyone's looking for that,
Hey.
and the international home for Raging Grannies.
Yes. And there are 3 Florida chapters. Yeah, I haven't seen them quite as active, but I'm hoping to connect.
Do you know
with
where
them.
they are?
One's in Central Florida. There's one further down south and one closer to Tampa. I
That
think.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
But it's funny because I know the Madison Grannies are really interested in connecting with others, so maybe that's a future direction. We'll see. I think it's probably certainly needed in current times.
Yeah. That sounds like both interesting and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell the look on your face. You had a lot of fun even recalling that.
Yeah, they're great.
That's great. We've got some like the funsy questions, like the fun stuff that came up while we were researching you
Oh
that
no!
we want to get to.
Oh no!
And I feel like I have to skip to what was going to be the third question. And I swear to God.
Oh.
You're,
I did talk about the Dala
no,
Horse.
now you gotta go into detail. Tell us more about, okay, what's a Dala Horse, and tell us about the giant Dala Horse in your hometown.
It's the second largest Dala Horse.
Number one's in Sweden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I can't recall, fact check this, but I think they might have built that after us. Probably one of the biggest. But that might not be true, so double check.
It's as an Ohio boy, this is how I feel when they built King Dakar at Six Flags in New Jersey. I'm like, how you build a roller coaster just to beat ours? Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, Dala horses are like kind of like this national symbol of Sweden. They come from the Dalarna region, where like my family still has relatives up there. I actually met them for the first time going to do field work. It was cool. But yeah, they're these carved toys, one could say, that have not rose mauling, that's Norwegian, but they're painted in this very specific way.
Does that have a name in Swedish traditional art?
Yep, it does, and I am blanking on that.
Okay,
So
but
if
you know rose mauling.
Yes. But,
if you know rose mauling from furniture.
They're hand painted
yes.
in this sort of rust-ready orange color, although they could be blue or white. But you see them like everywhere on every Willkommen sign, every like Swedish.
The big one's red in your hometown?
Yeah, it's like that reddish orange, like rust.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's giant, very tall. It's right on Union Street, and yeah, good roadside stop and attraction. Or in Minnesota, if you're ever up that way.
Is there like a day of the year that is most auspicious for your giant Dala horse? Like Saint Lucy's Day or whatever.
Oh no, I think it just stands tall no matter what. It did wear a mask during the pandemic. So,
wow.
yeah, that was pretty progressive.
Okay.
Okay, I have stats on the largest doll horses.
Oh, you do?
If you want to hear.
Okay.
So,
Hit me.
the largest is in Avesta, Sweden, standing at over 18 meters, which is 43 feet tall, and it was built in 1989, versus the one in Moore, Minnesota, which is 22 feet tall, so about half the size, and was built in 1971.
Ha! We were
So you're right.
first.
It did
Yeah.
predate it.
Yes.
That being said, I was picturing like theirs is 43 feet and yours is 40. But like, no, they kind of double.
They're like, we don't want to have to redo this
yeah,
again.
Yeah. That's a hell of a move. I once had Lydia Bringerud had Dala horses on like at her wedding, like on like her and the groom's table, and I forgot the name during the reception, and I called them Swedish love ponies. And she looked so upset, but then went, "But you're not actually wrong."
Oh, Swedish love ponies. Nope.
Yeah, it's the Rust Pony Club. Yeah, in Mora, Minnesota, home of the Rust Pony Club.
Yeah, we were the Mustangs.
Yeah, were you reddish?
No, we were blue.
Well, they can be blue. They can be blue sometimes.
They can.
That's excellent. Glad to see any American from the home of the world's largest anything. But it was at one point the world's largest of something.
It was.
That's so cool. Okay, this next question just starts with the word clogging.
Yep.
All right, clogging. Can you talk a little bit about the Hot Pepper Steppers?
Yeah. So I am a member of a group here in town called the Yeehaw Pepper Steppers, an old-time clogging dance group with our house band, the Runaway Biscuits. They're great. Hey, Bobby. Yeah, so we are currently all women, which is not how we've always been historically, but I'm not mad about it. Yeah, so we are Cloggy Duke group. We do a lot of old-time music and dance. We dance every year at the Florida Folk Festival. So I've been down that route quite a few times. And yeah, we have a great group of folks who have been involved in our old-time dance scene here in town. We have a pretty large contra dance. We have a lot of clogging. Yeah, we practice every Monday night. Have a few routines that we've been dancing for years. A couple new ones that we've been shaping up as well.
How many Florida folk festivals have you performed at and also been at?
It's the same.
It's the same number.
It's
okay.
the same.
So how many folk festivals have that thing I said?
It's not as many as you think. So I think my first one was 2018.
That's about as many as I.
Yeah,
as I
2018 and then 2019. Then there was no 2020. Then 2021.
Nor 21.
Nope, 21. So 2022. 2023 I came back for
it.
And they still let me perform. I popped in there. It happens.
I threw a video of that year in the chat.
Hey!
Oh, hey.
Wait,
wow, you really are sleuthing.
Should we pull it up?
Sure. Well, which video is
not
it? We'll
opened
see.
it, so it just said
preview it
Florida
here.
Folklife Festival, Hot Pepper Steppers at Florida Folklife Festival 2023. That's what it said.
Last year was the first that I missed in a long time because I had my 10-year college reunion and I went to that. But we're ready to be back in full force.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I don't know that I'm in that one.
You're not in this one?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Sorry, Chrissy.
Oops. I'm also playing it randomly. That's okay.
Should we put it on anyway?
I've just
or what?
Googled-
Yeah. Watch other people, not me. That's
Oh,
great.
great. Okay.
They're all great. most of these folks are still.
Oh, here, you are pictured in this one this is some archival thing that I found. Does this have
Oh dear. Actually, I think I know
I just found
exactly. Am
this
I wearing a
citation.
purple dress?
You are
I am
indeed.
wearing
I'll
a
put
Are you
this
linking
one in
this
the
one?
chat
Are you
so
linking
people
this
can
one?
see you dancing. This one's not a video. This is just a photo, but I'll throw it in the chat.
Throw it in chat.
Yeah.
So that's you.
Yep, that's me.
Wow.
Yeah, normally on Sunday mornings when we're on the other stage, we wear what we call our Rapunzel dresses. They're a little cooler on really hot Florida.
Oh my god, yeah.
We've been incorporating the flower crown more and more into these, which
I
is,
associate
like,
y'all with the flower crown.
yeah, this has been like also a more recent development because some folks in the campground started handing light up crowns around, and that just becomes part of the dress.
That's
right?
pretty awesome. Well, let's play a little of this so people can see what you're doing here, even if it's not you per se. Oh wait, Chrissy, you need to see this.
Oh yes, that would be nice.
Let me go back to this screen. Okay, that was a big. Everyone, we had a big Chrissy jump scare there. Okay, large Chrissy.
I was definitely looking at my other monitor.
Mods are asleep. Post surprise Chrissy. Okay. Here we go. You can see this.
Yes.
Heritage stage,
yeah. We almost always dance heritage stage.
Yeah, the dance floor.
Yeah, it is a better dance floor. Slippery little bugger, but good.
Built with prison labor.
Oh lordy, I don't know.
It was.
Oh, that's great.
Runaway Biscuits.
Yep, Runaway Biscuits playing. Howard Pardue back there on banjo.
We love Howard Pardue.
We love Howard so much.
He comes up all the time when I'm doing field work.
Yeah, I mean, he just knows everybody.
Yeah.
He'll just like drop names sometimes when you're chatting with him about like, this time at Florida Film Festival. So actually, this is like one of our pretty standard routines that we'll probably open with again.
Nice.
Just because like this and the one we danced to Cotton by Charlie Engstrom, the local Tallahassee fiddler, because we like to highlight some of the Tallahassee tunes, our standard repertoire, and then everything else sort of shifts around a little bit. And we've like added, subtracted to these routines too. Yes.
How did you get into clogging?
So, for a little while in Mora, there was like a pretty big contemporary clogging scene where like all of us in junior high were like, ooh, and started like taking classes with the jingle taps. I did that for a little while, but like I was a band geek, so I was doing more of that. But then when I got to grad school, we had a pretty robust old time ensemble here at Florida State. Oatmeal came from Old Time Ensemble. So there's a group called Oatmeal OTE.
OTE.
Old Time Ensemble. See puns.
Yeah, that's not a pun.
Oatmeal?
Is that a
words?
pun?
I don't know. But yeah, so I started in with that ensemble, and like clogging was a big part of that, but more in like this sort of sense, not in the like canned music jingle taps, which is good too. But like I kind of started calling that fitness clogging and some ways. That might get me into some trouble later on.
The Zumba of clogging.
Yeah, the Zumba of clogging. Right. Those are called deadlies, that step right there.
Oh yeah. And you got hot pepper socks, most of you?
Most of us have some sort of hot pepper stuff. So like yeah, normally like on Saturday we'll wear sort of our pepper gear. Mary and Kasha there actually have Seminole skirts hand sewn by
like Seminole patchwork.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Seminole patchwork.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So like we're a little bit of a hodgepodge, but it's good and we have a lot of fun. Mary Allgaier in the black skirt with the patchwork is really a founding member of this group and has been leading this for many years, has danced on main stage at Folk Fest.
Mary Allgaier is a legend around
here. She is a legend, and like people are really recognizing that, and yeah, she's also a really dear friend. And
Heritage Award for Mary?
Oh my gosh, actually.
Okay, remember that in the fall.
Yes.
We'll clip that so we can add it to the nomination packet.
Right? Just Carrie's
thank you. Hey, thank you for that follow meeting on Renegade.
Hey.
Hey, can I say something like off topic?
Yeah.
Well, not off topic. Off topic, not for clogging. That's for clogging representation in the media. Do you watch The Righteous Gemstones?
Oh.
Hold on, can we watch an unrelated video?
Are we okay? Are we gonna like be sued for copyright?
No, whatever. No, we're live reacting. We're doing transformative work. Okay.
We are.
Do you know there's a famous clogging scene on this HBO comedy?
No, I did not know
Okay,
this.
we're watching the chat. We're doing this.
See a sneak peek?
Yeah, I think we gotta go to a commercial.
Oh, I don't think we're gonna take a break yet, because guess
Walton
what?
Goggins.
I wore my clogging shoes.
Oh my gosh, I think those are jingle taps. Are they jingle taps?
I think so.
They're jingle taps.
That's the lead singer from Sugar Land, and of course John Goodman. That's like a Jerry Falwell type package.
Just leave the dance.
Okay, I'm so glad you get to blind react to this clogging.
We're gonna dance.
These are so high.
Daddy said don't, but I said I'm gonna misbehaving.
Eyes on a windowsill, swimming in the creek.
Catching crawdads and playing with a stick.
I wore lipstick.
And I got caught shaving. Just two little country kids outside
misbehaving. Teacher said don't, but I said it anyway, misbehaving.
Preacher said no, if you do, you're gonna pay misbehaving.
Former 4-H kid. Oh hell yeah.
Spitting and a cussing
Oh,
out
need some
loud.
shot.
Running through the house with a pickle in my mouth.
Playing in the street, look at me outside waving.
Just two little kids out there misbehaving.
Okay, I think this is part of it.
We thought
Nope.
we was just messing around.
It sounded like I could have been.
Crown, it taught us that tricks and mischief leads to Satan. So from now on, there's no misbehaving.
All right, here we go.
Oh, good basic. Step, right, step, double step, double step, double step, right, step. Wow.
Clogging.
That is like, yeah.
That's a good frame to pause on.
That's a great frame. That's a great frame.
Oh my god, yeah. Jennifer Nettles is she's in only like the flashbacks. She's in like one flashback a year, but she kills it every season. And
my
Walton
gosh.
Goggins is just that's my new dad. I want Walton Goggins to be my dad. Do it again, maybe not.
Better won't you listen, don't go missing, I'm behaving.
I mean, it's a song about finding Christ.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
And
Clogging in Christ. What more could you need?
Exactly.
So no more tricks and no more misbehaving. No more tricks and no more misbehaving.
Yeah, clogging.
He really could have had like some. I mean, Hillary Klug could clog and play fiddle. He could have danced and clogged at the same time. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
there's so much more potential.
Okay. Well, the illusion of the bit was supposed to be like they're on the they're getting like interviewed after the sermon on like the mega church show, and you're like, oh, what? Our clogging shoes are on, you know? So they couldn't make it look like they were going all out, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Carrie, did you wear your clogging shoes to this interview?
Oh, I happen to have my clogging shoes on.
No, I'm wearing chacos now.
I'm in my stocking feet.
I have my chacos on.
Oh, hold on. Oh, what do I have right here? Oh, no.
Oh, lordy.
It's so good. Oh, man. Yeah, well... keep this in mind next time you're getting interviewed and someone brings up the hot pepper steppers. You're just going to be like, well, and as a matter of fact,
Well,
hot glue some pennies? I mean, you need how many dollars and pennies do you need in order?
Oh, to put some pennies on your shoes?
Is it just one penny?
No, if you put 4 or 5 on the
I was
toe
thinking
and
50
four
cents.
on the 50 cent?
50 cents. A half of a dollar.
That's not contemporary clogging.
Wait, hold on. Boop, 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 boop. We might have a question in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to cut back to this screen if you don't mind.
That's a friend from undergrad.
Hey, what's up? Lose on first. Oh, lose on first? Okay, great.
Libby.
Hey, sorry I'm late. Has anyone asked Carrie about her intramural softball nickname yet?
Wow. No.
What was your intramural softball nickname?
The Coda from Minnesota.
The Coda?
Oh
that
my
was
God.
My friend.
Like the ending?
Yeah, because I was always put in as the last pitcher to close it
Oh,
out.
you were
So
closer.
I was the Coda.
Oh my
from
God, the Coda from
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Has-
Oh my God.
That is
Yeah,
the
our
best-
brown
the
band,
best
the brown
nickname.
band intramural softball team, which like we're better than you think we would be.
Okay, that works on so many levels, to be honest. That's a really good one. Oh my gosh. Oh man, yeah. Oh, I'm like, no, I got the Abbott and Costello of it all. But hey, thank you, first time chatter. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Carrie episode, of course.
Oh lordy.
That's I think in like the pantheon of great like closer nicknames in the history of baseball. It's like the Coda from Minnesota 2, the Hammer of God 1. You know, you and Mariano Rivera are basically the two greatest closers of all time.
Praise.
Yeah.
High praise.
That's amazing. Where were we? We went on a clogging
We
break,
were on-
a softball
yeah, you
break.
just said clogging, go hot pepper steppers.
I just said
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's a good one. What's the most bewildering slang that your students use?
Oh no, I know exactly who wrote this question.
No, you don't.
And I'm pretty sure it's one of my students.
No, you don't.
I'm pretty sure it's my advisee.
No, he actually didn't write this. He wrote the follow up.
Oh no.
You gotta answer this one to get to that.
There's a lot of bewildering slang. I'm learning so much. I study youth cultures, right?
That's right.
I'm learning
That's
the
right.
things.
Yeah.
This is not still contemporary, but it's the one that I could think of was that my students were using bet a lot.
Yeah.
And I finally just had to stop class discussion one day and say, "What is bet?" And they told me.
That's easy. That's like a linguistic clipping.
Yeah,
It's just you bet, but
I got it
syllable
after
S.
that.
Yeah.
There's some other things that I don't even know half the time.
I've been told you like to confront students by using their slang at them.
I did do that to one once, yes.
How did that go? What was that? What was
I think
going on
I
there?
think I did. I don't remember what was going. It was. Was that in class or was that in like an advising meeting? I don't remember, but it got to the point where I'm like, I don't know what's happening, and I'm gonna start using this so that you stop thinking it's cool. Because if I use it, you won't be cool. And I'm pretty sure I probably mixed up some words and made it even more uncool.
That's evil. That's generational warfare.
Yeah.
That's unfair to
Yeah.
them. Was it skibbity?
Oh yeah. I did ask what skibbity meant.
You asked what skibbity meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone had to like give me the whole like toilet. Like they showed me the
Skibbity
whole,
toilet.
like.
It comes from a
Yeah.
Russian.
Yeah.
It's originally a Russian Eurovision band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Eurovision's great.
Oh,
So.
of course. You remember Little Big for Russia, who did Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis? It's one of their songs
Huh.
where
Who
we get
knew?
skibbity.
Right.
Yeah, I figured that's a reference you had.
I
Yeah.
had that one.
Eurovision.
Yes.
Okay, here's the actual question your advisee. It wasn't really a question. He just said, find a way to get her to talk about the Rizzler. So
I don't even know what that is.
Well,
Do
you
I
don't know the
what
Rizzler?
No.
you've never stuck out your gaff for the Rizzler? You're so skibbity, honestly.
This is
You're so
exactly what
fantastic.
happens. This is.
You
so
don't know.
cringe.
You don't
This
know
is
the
so
Rizzler.
cringe.
You don't know the Rizzler. Oh, cringe is a good
Ohio, so Ohio.
one. It's pretty Ohio. Pretty Ohio that you can get this far and not know the Rizzler.
I don't know what the Rizzler is.
So-
Is it like the Twizzler?
No.
Is it candy?
No. Well, let me say this. It is slang to call like your favorite of anything your son.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Rizzler, I'm pretty sure, is what my child may look like one day. So there was an idea. You know Riz.
Yeah.
You know Riz.
I know that. I know
Much
the
like
term
much
Riz.
like Bet, Riz is a linguistic clipping of charisma
Mm-hmm.
made by the Shakespeare of Gen Z, Kai Cenat, who just for sheer word output is going to be the Shakespeare of this century.
All right.
You know what I mean?
You heard it here, folks.
So coming from the idea of Riz, there was an idea of like the Riddler, but the Rizzler, someone whose superpower is Riz.
Wow.
And then there was this little 7-year-old from New Jersey who started calling himself the Rizzler. I'll just show you the Rizzler, actually. I think
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Is
throw
it
in the
because is
chat
this children's
because the
culture? Because
Wikipedia.
it's
it's children's
7?
culture. It's
Okay.
children's culture.
Wow,
Here,
I'm so behind.
We're back to
First
live
year
reacts.
faculty.
You know what? Let's just put
I
on.
threw the Wikipedia.
Can we put on
in
the?
the chat.
I think the Rizzler and Jimmy Fallon. What do you think? The Rizzler on pro wrestling. You know what?
Welcome to the Tonight Show.
This has gotta
Thank
be
you
the
so much
Rizzler.
for being here.
It can be real. If it's good, it gets 4 booms. Okay, 2 booms. Bad, 1 boom.
Show me the Riz
Amazing.
face.
5 big booms.
Okay,
Here we go. Here's the
you're a
Rizzler.
great family.
That's the Rizzler. The little guy is the
Mama
Rizzler.
dresses too. Come on. Rizzler. Good to see you, buddy. Nice to
Look
see
at that
you.
Riz.
Thank you for
So
being here. Now
much
you're
Riz.
known for
Wow.
for the Riz face, okay? Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I don't know. Making some connections here.
What's the story behind the
So basically, one day I came home from school and I was like, Dad, I want to make a video. And I was like, this is how to do the Riz face, and then I just did it.
Just did it.
Wait,
Literal
so you said,
expressive
"Dad, I wanna make a
culture,
video,"
right?
and then you said,
Literally.
"This is how you do the Riz
Expression.
face?"
I love this kid. This kid's
What does it
incredible.
mean? This is how you do the Riz face. Can you teach me how to do the Riz face?
So first, you put one eyebrow down like
Are
this.
you gonna do it?
I have glasses. Hold on.
Ruth, you want to try this? too?
Now I can't see what's happening.
Gotta put one eye down.
And then you raise one up,
Raise the opposite eyebrow.
and then you suck in like this.
Suck in your cheeks.
And
I can't do it.
You do it all together, and that's how you do the Riz face.
I'm doing the Riz face?
No, like take the eyebrow.
I feel so old. I feel so old. Remember when I told you before this, like, I don't know things, Dom? I'm like, I think you know more than I actually know.
You know Skibbity. You know Ohio. You successfully used Ohio as an adjective.
Because
Yeah.
Midwest, man, I know Ohio.
That's right. I mean, you get it. The first time someone's like another person from Ohio is like, what do the kids mean when they say Ohio? And I'm like, weird and uncanny. And they went, yeah.
Yeah. Aw. Aw.
Well, this was a journey.
That was quite
That
a
was
journey.
a journey. Okay, we've got one more fun question.
Oh no.
It's very important.
Okay.
What foods would you exchange between the Upper Midwest and the South?
Would you exchange?
Like if you could give the Upper Midwest one Southern dish and give the South one Upper Midwest dish.
Oh, these are good questions. So I actually really missed good grits when I was up north.
Yes.
Like you just can't find them. And so I would give the South that, or the Midwest that. And in terms of, oh man, what does the South need from the Midwest? Cheese curds, better cheese curds.
Oh, yes.
Way better
Okay.
fried cheese curds.
Those
There's
are-
like all cheese.
As I'm literally typing in the chat that Wisconsin would make the best cheese grits.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I think we have like a
Combine your
restaurant. We have a
powers.
restaurant concept here, Chrissy. If academia doesn't work out for me, we have a plan.
You'll be opening a cheese grits, cheese curds restaurant in, I don't know, in
Either
La
place,
Crosse.
to be
I mean,
One-
that's
one
gonna,
in-
they're a chain with 2 restaurants.
Yeah, it'll be two. One in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and one in fucking Sanford, Florida. I don't know. Squeaky grits. Okay, now you're cooking. As her students
Oh
would
my
say,
God.
"Chat, you're cooking. You're cooking, chat." Do you know chat
good.
is in the dictionary now
Is it really?
as English's first fourth person pronoun, the way it's used on Twitch?
Nice.
Yeah, thank you, chat.
Nice.
Thank you, chat.
Language is fun.
That's great. Here's a question I have in the document. Are boiled peanuts just Yeehaw Lutefisk?
They are so different.
I was going for like the most esoteric of either side of that divide. there.
No.
Are chitlins Yeehaw Lutefisk?
No,
What's
there
the
is no-
Yeehaw Lutefisk?
Fish gelatin.
Do we eat that down here?
I don't know.
Yeah, Chat, do you know what Lutefisk is? Can we,
Chat,
can
you
we
know
clarify?
Lutefisk? I think the people who are here to see Carrie know Lutefisk. Y'all know,
Yeah,
chat,
I
y'all know ball peanuts? Y'all know ball peanuts, chat?
Yeah, I mean, they're texturally quite different, and
Oh, yeah,
they're
texturally.
both protein, I suppose.
Oh, smoked mullet
But
dip.
They,
Oh, we're onto
the place
something.
they sit in culture, I think,
That's
is
right.
the question.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. In its sort of cultural context. I mean, like that's
Heard
also...
of both, but never eaten either. That's also what I'm going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really get Lutefisk at a gas station, though.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But no.
But it is something.
You would
It
if
is
you
something
could.
you have to make a deliberate. You're making a deliberate choice
So,
to eat
like,
them.
what's something like a Elks Lodge or something would serve here that's southern for like a fundraiser? Because we have like lutefisk dinners
Ball
and
peanuts.
things.
Oh yeah, but they're a snack, not a
Right,
meal.
yeah. So like, what's like the next tier up for like
Esoteric home cooking meal. Catfish.
catfish fry?
Catfish too normal.
Catfish is quite.
I
normal.
do like. Was it Knittingale said smoked mullet dip?
Maybe.
That's a good one. That's very that's like Tampa's thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's definitely more flavorful. But
Yeah, and pretty intense and very oily.
True. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like. I don't know.
We don't have to come to a conclusion of what is the
I'm
mythical Yeehaw Lutefisk.
I'm gonna think deeply about this though, and it will probably keep me up at night for a while.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. It has to exist. Like a cat.
Something.
There's a corner. It's an edict genre, to be sure, but it exists in our minds. We've made space for it. It's a portable concept.
Yes.
Is here an next food?
Oh hell no! I'm more likely to do smoked mullet dip.
Yeah, that's true.
Our
That's
most
more in
popular
Florida.
Facebook post in the history of the Florida Folklife program is on smoked mullet dip.
I
Yeah.
can see it.
Wow.
Yeah. It is the thing. It is the thing
Yeah.
around in the armpit of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, tasty.
I love it. I really do. Do we have any more questions from chat or any more anecdotes we can bring up before we get into our final activity here with Carrie?
No other questions from chat.
Chat.
And I can't think of other specific anecdotes.
I'm gonna check one thing.
Uh-huh.
Favorite meatball protein is a good one actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I missed.
I know exactly why Liaison First is asking this because there's a place in Stockholm called Meatball for the People.
Okay.
Meatballs for the People, which
I'm
like,
interested.
you can get like a sampler platter of like every kind of protein meatball, from reindeer to like beef, but normally some sort of like combination of like pork and beef is what I tend to sort of gravitate toward, like a nice sort of balance. But yeah, there's some other interesting.
Pork and beef is the most Italian thing you've said so far.
Wow.
Getting the food. I mean, like that's all our meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always
I
gotta
mean,
be
it's
two.
just you
It's
just
gotta
have
be
to
two
have like a
things.
nice fat content with like your like.
Well, it's gotta be like one fat one, one lean one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we do it. Lamb meatball, very good.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you're getting a little like my like my mom's dog. You're getting a little Mexican meatball there. Can you address the cultural significance of CD's favorite vegetable?
Oh, the
Your
rutabaga.
favorite
The
vegetable?
rutabaga.
Also
Go,
called the
oh,
Swede.
pop off, please. Let's do it.
Rutabagas are delicious.
Yeah.
And like, they're richer than a turnip. They make good soups. Again, they're called Swedes. That's very like on brand.
They're called
very,
Swedes.
It's another name.
Is
for
that a
them.
Swedish? Is this a Swedish word?
I mean, no, I don't think so. But like, you find it in like a lot of sort of Swedish American dishes. Too.
Okay.
Like we always grew them in our garden. And we always had them at Thanksgiving, like mashed rutabaga with like a scoop of mashed potatoes to like kind of tamper it down, right? Good
Okay.
stuff. But rutabagas, they're great.
Yeah.
They're great vegetables.
I'm a turnip guy, personally.
Oh yeah, turnip for what?
Turnip for my niece whose name is Scotland, and my brother who lived in Scotland. Her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday. She turned 8.
Aw, happy
Yeah.
birthday.
She's my favorite and
Aw.
only niece.
Aw.
Yeah. That's good. Great recommendation from Carrie. I believe that's about meatball for the people.
It is. Meatballs
That's
for
cool.
the people.
That's cool.
Yep. Go
Man.
stock them.
I had a love a meatball specialty restaurant. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Chrissy, you want to get into our game that we're going to finish this interview with Carrie?
Sure.
Okay.
So while you get it set up, I do
Yeah.
the explanation.
Yeah.
Okay. Carrie,
Chrissy,
have you ever made a tier list?
I've never made a tier list.
Do you know what it is? I can explain.
Styles of scarves.
She's now seen the tier list.
She's now seen the tier list, but get into it. Get into it.
The tier lists are often used in gaming culture to rank things and people and characters and all sorts of other stuff. So generally you have several categories of S, which is, I always think of it as superior, the top notch, and then D, A, B, C, D, D being the bottom. If you'd like to add an F, we can always add one. And we want you to rank styles of scarves for us
Ooh.
today.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have this wonderful sleuth provided styles of scarves tier list, and you're not wearing
not
one
wearing
right now.
one right now.
Not really scarf. It was very hot and sunny today.
It was. It was not
nice and
scarf
warm.
weather.
Not scarf weather. Can you talk about scarves a little bit before we get into this?
I have a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Often they were kind of part of my professional dress for a really long, well, still kind of are.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like the humanities ethnomusicology thing in some ways. I don't know. Like the cardigan V-neck shirt scarf, just missing the scarf.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, like, I told you this story at Florida Folklore Society. Well,
Oh, but chat doesn't know.
I'll tell you this now. My mother saw a picture of me and 3 of my friends at Society for Ethnomusicology conference, and she saw us all with like dark hair, glasses, and scarves, but the other 3 had on tall boots. But I didn't have tall boots, and so she was very sad about this. And so for my birthday that year, I got tall boots. That's what all the girls are wearing these days. It's very sweet, very supportive of my ethnomusicology career. But yeah, scarves, they're... Yeah, those of you who do folklore and dress, that's a good topic.
The girls who get it.
Yeah.
And the girls who weren't. And Nightingale, thank you for the posture check. Also, how dare you? I'm sitting up straight now.
Wow!
All right. Now that the
right.
pressure's off my upper back, I'll go through this. Chrissy will name these scarves off. Here are your options. She will name them off, and you'll rank them on a scale from S to D. Are you ready?
All right.
All right. The first one is a cowl.
Ooh, like a cowl. A.
Hey, okay.
That's an A.
Starting off strong.
Do you have reasons or anything you'd like to
I
explain
think
about
there's
why I got
just
an A?
like they're really functional. They're a statement, right? Like you're doing something with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a cowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. The second is infinity.
Okay, that's definitely S. I was gonna put S at the top. I have my favorite scarf's an infinity scarf. It has little tiny flowers on it that matches everything, but also it just hangs in like really nicely. And they're easy, just swoosh, swoosh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you double loop? Is it like you loop it twice around
Yeah,
your
a
neck,
double
or is
loop
it
with
just...
like one loop a little higher and one a little lower.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Straight to S.
Straight to S.
Third one's a pashmina.
Oh, very, very nice. That's gonna be a B. I have a few pashminas, and like that's just like a solid like middle ground go to, a little artsy, good stuff.
I always think of pashminas as like what you wear when you might want a blanket,
Yeah, there's
but
that.
aren't gonna wear a blanket.
Yeah, super cozy.
I always think of Pashmina as Hamtaro's girlfriend. You ever watch Hamtaro?
Oh.
No? Little hamsters, big adventures, Hamtaro. The little hamster he was sweet on was named Pashmina.
That's a great name for a hamster.
Yeah,
That's
right?
really cute.
Hey,
Say.
hey, you know what? This is
Love
also a plug for the anime from 25 years ago, Hamtaro.
A good
Kinda-
obscure reference from Dom.
Kinda
to
Rugrats,
make
but
this what it
hamsters.
needs
Is
to
there
be.
is there a bingo card?
There ought to be. All right, take a drink.
All right. The,
Not
the
alcoholic.
fourth one is a ruffle scarf.
Oh, really nice in theory, but I'm gonna give that a C because in practice, like, they're just a little harder to pull off. You have to have the exact right outfit for those. I've seen people pull them off well, but I do not.
I just want to say, BB Gun Renegade both knows Hamtaro and also knows that an S is a grade above 100 in Japan. So that's my dog right there.
Yeah, actually, the two of you would probably get along really well.
What's up?
That's great. All right. Next we have silk. I had to read it twice. Silk scarf.
I would probably put that in a B as well because that's sort of a solid go-to. But like, if you want to be dressier, but like you can't always pull off the silk because like that's not like the cozy vibes.
Yeah.
But I would say B because like professionally, good stuff.
All right, is this B above Pashmina or B below Pashmina?
B below.
B below. Okay.
Pashmina's
Nice.
still higher.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next one is my favorite word to say, a snood.
Snood.
I am not familiar with the snood, but based on name alone, we're gonna give it a D.
No! You're gonna disrespect the snood on the basis of being named Snood? Oh man.
No, I mean, but also just practicality. Like, why is it so thin on top and thick on the bottom? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could see, like,
Doesn't
maybe it would, like, yeah, have the hoodie thing. I don't know. No. Just get a D. I just don't know what to do with the snood.
Damn. Of all the
I
straight
really
to
love
D moments, I never thought I'd see Snood there. Also, never thought we'd have a tier list that would like facilitate us saying Snood. What were you saying, Chrissy?
I also I'm a little heartbroken that it's because it's called a snood.
Me too!
Because that is S tier word for me. S
Oh,
tier word.
Yes. S. Yeah. S for the first letter in Snood, not D for the last letter in Snood.
I
Come on.
misunderstood. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly. No, it's okay.
Dare you disrespect the Snood?
I have disrespected the snood. I am sure I'll hear
There's
about
probably
it
a
later.
town in Minnesota called Snood that's got like the world's 28th largest Dala Horse. You know that.
Sorry, snood.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
Oh, no, it's Snood, Iowa.
Yeah, you're right.
I have no opinion on the actual scarf type. I just really love the word.
Yep.
All right, next one is a stole.
Stool.
Oh, this one's a stole, right?
No, there's a red one before
Oh.
a stool.
What's the one before? Well, this is the order. Okay, hang on. No, that one's I think supposed to be the stole because the
Okay.
next one I know what the next one is.
Okay,
Oh,
stole.
okay.
Stole.
I'm not, again, familiar with the stool as a concept, but it looks like some scarves I have, which are pretty good go-tos, so I would put that right above the silk in a B.
Middle of B.
Middle of B.
Go good,
Like,
good.
that's just...
Hey, so far, normal distribution.
I
we love to
try.
see it.
Wow.
I
We
love a
to
good
see it.
curve, right? All right.
All right. Next is if I get this right, the thin scarf. Super thin.
Yeah, like from like the 2000s. I definitely had one of those
Yeah.
early, but those don't work anymore. Though it's gonna be a D, but after the snood, we'll give the snood
Very
some
bottom
redemption.
of D. Okay. Oh, well, I'm
Nice.
glad
Okay.
that you can like equal opportunity hate. You can hate on function and hate on vibes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good. It's good. All right. Well, last but not least, we have the triangle scarf.
You know, I think the triangle scarf is underrated because, like, you don't have to do as much with it. It's a little bit hipster, a little bit nice. So we're gonna give that a low A, an A minus. Yep,
Excellent.
yep. Just, it has a little extra character, right? It's above your basics. Right, but not too showy. It's not like a ruffle or a snood.
I love for the most part it goes from like fattest to skinniest, except snood.
Snood.
Yeah, thickest
Snood
to
is the
skinniest.
odd man out.
Snood for fucked vibes. That's great.
I hope you don't think I'm too snooty for that.
Ah!
Oh, that was a good
Where
one.
is it? Where is it? Is there a camera? Oh, there. Oh, wow. You ever watch Red Letter Media?
No.
They're from Milwaukee.
Oh.
They've been reviewing movies on YouTube since like the first year of YouTube. They're like the
Told you I know nothing.
they're like the OGs. Well, you maybe know them from Upper Midwest, but when one of them tells like a bad joke, the other one always just looks around confused. That's the strategy I'm defaulting to.
I mean, that's probably just kind of our relationship going forward. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Eh.
Carrie, this is a beautiful tier list. Styles
Thank
of
you.
scarves.
Yeah.
From
Tier.
infinity to skinny. Rejected Toy Story 5 catchphrase.
Infinity, not beyond.
Yeah, this is the
Boundless to thinnest.
yeah. Oh,
Wow.
from boundless to thinnest.
Wow.
Okay, that's a good way to put a scarf on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to ruffle anything.
I've been trying to think of the summary statement the entire time.
You done good. You done good. That's a good one.
Uh,
I'm gonna go back to the screen here, but Carrie, this concludes your Folkwise interview.
wow.
Yeah, we got some good stuff. The sleuths, you done good, bringing up some of this, some of the stuff that came up organically. Yeah,
Whistler, I
Yes.
We'll go down that rabbit hole later.
it's when I have a beard, I'm like it's less effective. No, I can't show you how like jacked and mogged and pog pilled my jaw is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw the slang at you.
Yeah.
Just overwhelm you with
No
slang.
cap.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. This is not cap.
No
Not at
cap.
all. All right, chat, fam. You know what to do. Ladders in the chat for Carrie. I want to see some ladders.
Yeah,
roll
ladders
up.
in the chat.
If you're not a subscriber, if you see everyone dropping ladders and you get jealous, all you got to do is subscribe, and you can have all our emotes, including ladders. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
Ladders in the chat for Carrie. Thank you so much. If you don't have ladders, give her a hearty GG. Give her a good game, like you just like she stopped your comeback when she was the Coda from Minnesota. 3 outs and your comeback is dead. Because the Coda from Minnesota is on the mound. GG's.
Boy.
Shake hands. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for driving all the way out here. No. For being like our 4th in the room guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first in my house though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice house.
Everyone. Oh,
Great house.
thank you.
Really nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Thanks. This is my office. We haven't done like an office tour of here. We did an office tour of my old office. Yeah.
Meatball?
I wrote that.
Baby
Meatball. This is signed by one of the animators on the original X-Men show. That's Cyclops and Jean Grey up there. Queens. Watch that on YouTube. I'm in that. I wrote that. Pilot creator. All right. And this is Chrissy art.
Yes, that's some of my art.
Chrissy art. You can't see this one in the view we have of Chrissy art. Chrissy, hey Chrissy, looking around at the art on my wall, lino cut of Baby Meatball when?
Oh, I should do that. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Quotes have had on many levels.
Making quotes helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working my way out of the labyrinth.